Hey everybody, Cinephile Mike is here, and it is episode 28 of Oscar Rewind, my series of review videos where I revisit films that reflect the work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. I dig deep into those IMDb profiles, and my hope is that you are going to discover a new older favorite, or maybe discover something you rediscover something you haven't seen in a while. As always, I'll be discussing the recent Oscar connection, awards history for the film, box office information, critical response, and as always, these reviews are spoiler free. Before we jump in, quick plug, do me a favor, make sure you click that subscribe button. You definitely want to be a part of all the cinematic goodness that is coming your way here on Rewind. You're getting multiple episodes, we're doubling it up, and here we go. We're wrapping up our director's theme, and today I am talking about Lava Film and Zentropa International Sweden's The Hereafter. Written and directed by Magnus von Horn, the film marked von Horn's feature film debut and was released internationally in the fall of 2015 with some additional international releases in early 2016. By the end of its run, its international and worldwide total take was $97,699. Now, critically, this film is divided with a critical score of 85% coming from over 20 reviews and a much lower popcorn meter of 47% coming from over 50 reviews. As for the Hereafter's award season run, the film won 12 of its 30 nominations. Amongst them, writer-director von Horn was nominated for various director awards, including a nomination for the Golden Camera at the Cannes Film Festival, and a Best Director nod from the Directors Guild of Poland. Some of his highlighted wins for this film came from the Polish Film Festival, where von Horn won the Rising Star Award, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. So why is this film here? Well, for his third feature film, The Girl with the Needle, von Horn, while he doesn't directly receive the nomination, his film was a Best International Feature nominee at this past year's Oscars. That film was also named a foreign film nominee at the Golden Globes and named one of the top 5 international films by the National Board of Review. So I felt that we needed to revisit him in the director's theme. For the review of The Girl with the Needle, you can find that in the Award Season Review Season 3 playlist. It kind of came towards the end of the Oscars, so if you hit that playlist, you got to scroll towards the bottom. All right, let's get into The Hereafter. After serving 2 years in juvenile prison for a crime that he did commit, John, played by Ulrich Munther, is returning home. His father, Martin, played by Mats Blomgren, takes him home and is determined to make things okay, although there's this tension that's felt. Arriving home, John is reunited with his younger brother, Philip, played by Alexander Norgren, and while an individual of few words, he tries to go back to his life the way it was before he served his time. However, on the first day, while at the supermarket, he is assaulted by a young woman, and John's father has to pull her off of him. He returns to school despite the shock of the principal, played by Inger Nielsen, who's concerned but caring and does welcome John back, as do some of the teachers, although the rest of the student body not as forgiving, even having certain students walking out of the room when he walks in, or kind of not being the most polite to him in other circumstances. Even an altercation with his former best friend Kim, played by Oliver Hillman, doesn't go as John would like. John attempts to go about things, but the community is not so willing to forgive him. The one person who seems to is Milan, played by Loa Ek, a young woman who moved into town while John was serving his time. So she's not fully as privy to his past as the others are. To her, it's more noise, and she wants to give him a chance. And, they begin to build a relationship, but even this may not be enough to make John's return home as smooth as he would like. As tensions mount, John will see that the past is never at rest, and he will have to decide whether to give into his natural inclinations or try to move past them. And as we see him interact with people and come to terms with his previous actions, von Horn gives us a portrait of a truly tortured soul. And I really don't want to say anything more with that, because this is one of the clever things about this film. It's a slow burn thriller Von Horn slowly, over the course of the roughly 2 hours, reveals different pieces of information throughout the film, through conversations, through circumstances, as opposed to just giving us these like big information dumps at the beginning. We don't get a lot of excessive exposition. We're, sticking in the present and trying to move forward. In fact, you might even be asking yourself a few more questions as the film ends, because Von Horn wants you to be in the moment with these characters. We don't want to reflect on the past. We want to move forward. It's a character study, and there are some really powerful choices he makes as we go. And, one of those, I have to say, first off, this film, there is no music or score. Von Horn, we live truly in a immersive world of diegetic sound. Every breath a character takes, every step they take in gravel, every lock that's opened or shut, door opened or closed. And it really gives this sense of unease, inviting you to be a participant in this story as opposed to a completely outside party. And when we see the way that the community treats John and his family, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I was shifting a little uncomfortably in my seat. In fact, due to the lack of the score, you aren't always sure where the action is going to go, so it actually ratchets up the tension more than some films we see with these dramatic scores. Secondly, the timeline is fairly truncated. So again, we're in that immediacy to keep us engaged. Cinematographer Lucas Zal uses various close-ups at times to really show what these characters are experiencing and going through, and captures some truly claustrophobic moments, even in spaces that are meant to be safe, like homes. In his feature film debut, and as of this post, only feature film credit, save one episode of television in 2020 in a short film, Munther as John. He was maybe 20 or 21 when he did this film. He gives a stellar performance that is both restrained and rageful. His eyes, I mean, if you zoom in on that poster, you can really see his eyes communicate so much more than the limited dialogue that he's given. As we follow him on his return, you can't help but, root and feel sorry for him, as well as want to shake him by the shoulders for the choices he's making. You're so conflicted. Munther really provides a strong talent. I hope to see him pop up somewhere again, should he choose to. I'm not sure why. As his father Martin, I also have to call out Blomgren's tortured performance, because in addition to his struggles with John's, there are other issues involving his other son and his father that add to this growing frustration as we see these 3 generations of men trying to move beyond this tragic circumstance that comes. And I almost wish we'd gotten to spend a little bit more time with him. Again, like yesterday when I came back with Revenge, The Hereafter is a powerful 4-star film that, while a different vibe than the slightly more verbose The Girl with the Needle, really offers an intensity which is seeming to be Von Horn's trademark, and I am here for it. If you would like to catch The Hereafter, it is currently streaming on Mubi, as is the recently nominated The Girl with the Needle. All right, so there you have it. We're going to keep moving forward with Rewind and the director's set. I'm going to be back again tomorrow. As always, if you like what you heard here, please click that button, subscribe to the channel, like, share the video, get people into the conversation, spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd, and find lots of great additional cinematic goodness on my website, cinephilemike.com. All right, everybody, happy watching, and until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.